Hey, what's going on, folks? Welcome back to another Rant and Rave by Professor Way here, historian. Lots going on in the news this week, right? The Middle East has exploded in violence and chaos and war and just utter devastation, a catastrophe. You know, in every sense, like socially and politically and diplomatically, it's just going to shit. Now, there's a lot of Christian fundamentals and extremists are saying that this is going to be the beginning of the end in the book of Revelation. I'm sorry to say, but even as a Christian, we don't really know exactly when that's going to take place or how it's actually going to take place. We do have the book of Revelation, but it's kind of vague and very symbolic. In a lot of senses. So, if you looked at it in the last 2,000 years, since the crucifixion of our Lord Jesus Christ, well, you could argue a lot that this time. So, you can't really, justify that. So, anyway, but there's a lot going on. I usually keep a lot of what's going on in European news as much as what's going on in my own backyard, a little bit more often. Per se, but there's a lot of things that are really pissing me off. Alright? Now, we're going to talk about a few things real quickly on this one, okay? First thing I want to talk about is not related to what's going on in the Middle East, but what's going on in our own country, in the Western world. You remember Billie Eilish? I love that stuff unfolding with her. You know, no one's illegal on stolen land. It's kind of funny, a lot of things that are coming out of the news from that, as much as some of it is true, some of it is not. But what it is basically what I can gather by that is basically there's a lot of protests from the local native tribes, and she came out and shooed them all away and said, get away from my place. And I bought it fair and square. You bought it from the state of California. Where did the state of California get it from? They didn't buy it. They took it from the Aboriginal people. So, she's kind of a hypocritical. She is one of the worst kinds of liberal libtards out there and woke. And, oh, God, have mercy. I wish the Lord will come back. Soon. End it all. Get rid of it. Just clear grass. Let's have 1,000 years of Christ reigning on this planet. We'll be good. That would be great, wouldn't it? So, like a lot of things going on in this country, you have a bunch of Iranians, and in our city square not that long ago, they put up the Iranian flag with the lion. Okay? Now, I don't... Why? Okay? I live in Canada. Why would I want to put another... This is not an assembly. This is not the United Nations. This is not some kind of an ambassador showing up from another nation. It's not an assembly. It's not an IMSA. Why the fuck do people do this shit? Alright? How many times do you walk to a community and be like, am I in Canada? Because I see every other kind of goddamn flag out there. I know I'm not at the United Nations. Okay? So you have all these Iranians and dumbass libtard Canadians protesting of what, and even in the States, of what's going on in Iran. They're against the war. Do you know what the fuck they're fighting for? Alright? Especially the libtards. Now, I've seen this on CNN, BBC, CBC in a sense, and other news outlets, and it's just like, are you kidding me? You're against the... What are they fighting for? This is the mentality, the idiocracy of people today in the Western world. I wish the West would just clear a slate and start over. We had that opportunity, and we blew it. Imagine that. But now, work with me here. If I'm going to come to a country, I want to go to Russia. I'm not going to be waving the American flag, and I ain't going to be waving the Canadian flag. I'm a Russian. Therefore, when I move to Russia, I am Russian. I'm Orthodox. I speak Russian. Russia. Believe in their culture, their tradition, their laws, abide by their customs, live like a Russian in Russia. Right? Because that's my new home. Home is where your heart is. Here's the contradiction to that. Home is where you make it. So, who gives a rat's ass? Sure, I'd be like, yeah, I was born in Canada, but that's the only Canadian thing you're going to get out of me. Right? Why are we concerned about these Iranian protesters that just hit the streets waving their flags? You ever see how many flags that they got? Where is there a shop somewhere? Like, they just hand out Iranian flags like they knew this was coming? All these flags are just waving her. Stop the war. We don't need another war. We want peace. You know what they're fighting for in Iran? They're changing. They're having a revolution. A revolution. They got more balls on us Americans and us Canadians, don't they? They're overthrowing their government and they're doing it like that. Like, man, it's over 10,000 casualties is the last estimate of protesters being killed, incarcerated, tortured. And they're still giving it to that. You gotta respect, okay? Would you do that in this country? If someone got shot in Ottawa, I'd be like, yeah, we're gonna quit. We're gonna go home and suck our thumbs and stick our fists up our arse. Okay, this is all we're gonna do. One guy got shot. Oh, that's terrible. One thing you gotta learn through the course of human history and the frig how it is. If you're gonna go against tyranny, you're gonna have to quit sacrifices, okay? Take a look at what Jesus did. He gave up his life to give us the opportunity to what? Right? Sacrifice. Why is it hard for people to understand today what the word sacrifice means? Sure, you don't want to die, but this is what you want, something for the future. You're fighting for something that you believe in. There is nothing wrong with that. Alright, well, if it requires killing other people like the Nazis, then there'd be something wrong with it. But the morality of it and the morals and the decency of it is what they're doing. Women will have rights over there again. Like, Iran wants to go back to what it was like before 1979. Alright? Or I like to say 1980. Because that really, okay? They want to bring that back. We should be supporting that, not saying against the war. If Israel and Iran wanted to duke it out, which they already had military strikes against each other, well, let it duke it out. I like where Iraq's in the situation. They're stuck in the middle. They're like, well, we got Israel on one side, we got Iran on the other side. Now, it's like maybe Iraq would be a perfect ally, because you got to remember the Iraqi and Iranian war that took place. Maybe they want to be like, yeah, we're going to go for it again. But this time, not on Saddam, so it should be a little bit different this time. But this is the thing, like, they're protesting? Really? Maybe you should be protesting your new home. Is this your home? You give up the old stuff. Right? Do you go back to your ex? Or do you move on? Alright? It's like if I walked into a Ford dealership, got a job at a Ford dealership, and then all of a sudden I start going, hey, Dodge, let's go get some Dodges, boys. Dodge is better than Ford. Why would you be working at a company that you're down in the company and boosting the company that you just came from? Does that make sense? If it does, go back, get some rope. There's lots of trees. You know what to do. You libtards. Okay? Yeah, you come to Canada, you're a Canadian. Tired of this. I'm Filipino Canadian. I don't care about you're not a Filipino. Classification leads to discrimination. Discrimination leads to racism. Racism leads to, and it just keeps going. It's just a ball of shit. Stop classifying yourself. If everybody was on the same page, we're all Canadian, right? No, I'm Iranian Canadian. Well, if you want to be Iranian, or do you want to be Canadian? Are you having an identity crisis? You don't know what to decide? If I move to the States, I'm an American. I'm not a Canadian American. I'm an American because that's my new home. A fresh start. But you still don't want to give up the old life? Or these Iranians are pretty much just thinking, oh man, we came over here in a peaceful country as these people over there are fighting for their country and their home and dying, and you have the audacity and the balls. You are a bunch of pussies, in my opinion. Like the Ukrainians. War, I gotta leave. I don't want to fight for my country, but I'm proud to be an Ukrainian. Other people are dying for me. If Canada got invaded, I ain't leaving Canada. I'm fighting for my home, in my home, against the aggressor. I'm not going to flee when I'm more than capable. I could see if we had a bunch of disabled and people like an elderly that couldn't fight. Or like children and things like this. But then when it comes to the children, you have the aspect, well, you can't keep it from their parents. Well, it looks like the man can fight and the woman can fight, but they're all be like, how many other ones over there got families and they just fought and died for their home? What is wrong with people? Is something wrong with me? Or what's going on with these libtards and these woke morons? Like, is the world gonna crack? You preach about unification, you preach about equality, you preach about this, but you do the opposite. Very hypocritical. Pisses me off. And as a historian, I'm telling you one thing. Immigration's out of control in this country. It doesn't work. Alright? Why do you leave your country to go to another country to bitch about the country that you just left from? Be like, yeah, that's kind of self-righteous, don't you think? Why go to another country and live in another country when you, in that country, you're like, I love my old country. I love Iran. It's great. I love it. We got good food. We got good culture. We got this, but we live in Canada. Well, if it's that great, if you're gay, where do you go? You go to a gay bar now, don't you? Why would a gay guy go into a straight bar? The only reason why would be the kind of gay guys be like, hey, I want to try to convert a straight man to the other side. Well, that's kind of devious now, isn't it? What do you think these people are doing? A lot of immigrants, especially Muslims. Right? You go where you go. You fight for your home. And I don't care what anybody thinks or what they think or whatever. But I want to tell you this. You fight for your home. You don't go somewhere else and be like, I'm going to bitch and complain about it, but I ain't going to do nothing about it. I'm just going to wave a flag and protest, which you should be having a gun and going to your country and fighting for your homeland. When you come here, I don't want to hear about where you come from. It's a new start, right? You think it's a new start? I love it here. You're like, everywhere I go, I hear these immigrants just, oh, we do this back in my own country. That's great. You're Canadian. You want to live here? You're Canadian. I don't care. I'm fucking from India. I'm from fucking Bangladesh. I'm from Nepal. I'm from wherever. And I'm just like, Asian country, China. Like, I don't care. You come here. If that was the case, I'm Canadian. Well, I should just go back to my roots. I'm French. I'm Irish. I am. Then the list goes on here, boys. Russian. But I'm Canadian. Okay, I'm Canadian. Period. Well, I'll wait. Irish, St. Paddy's Day is coming up, so I'm Irish for that day. Why celebrate your lineage? and your ethnicity. Why do that? Why do we do that? Now, we have an identity crisis in society. People can't know if they're boys or girls. They don't even know if they're human. I think it might be a cat. You think. Where'd that get you? That's the first problem. You thought. Like, what is wrong with the world today? Well, as a historian, you think, you look at the past, you're like, yeah, we had a lot of, misguided stuff over the years. But at the same time, it's just like, this is the worst it's ever been. There's no purpose. People don't know who they are. Why is the question people got to start asking themselves. Social media, guaranteed. All these movements, especially from the alphabet people. Like, I know in Russia now they have a new law that pretty much outdates the alphabet people. It's illegal. You go to jail for saying stuff like that. I remember Putin put that one out because I keep a lot on what's going on in Russia. But I don't say that I'm Russian now, do I? I sympathize with Russia. I love Russia. But when someone asks me, I'm Canadian. Now, I'm kind of confused on why these protesters, they don't want a war. Nobody wants war. But I hate to tell you, war is sometimes necessity. And war is a necessity. It's one of the greatest things. We come into a sinful world, and that's pretty much what do you expect? It not to happen? Last time I checked, Jesus didn't come back yet, so it's going to continue as normal. Until that happens. We don't know when. Right? You got Pakistan and Afghanistan just duking it out. I'm sorry, but I love to see this as a story because this is a war to study. Like, why did this break out? Militarily, they're destroying each other's outposts across the border and along the border. What's India going to sit and do? Right? Right? So, to me, right? Now, I'm a nationalist in a lot of aspects. I'm very patriotic more than a nationalist, but I do sympathize, and Canada could be one of the greatest countries in the world. We could be superior all over many other nations. We could even do it even over America. We could even be better than America, I believe. But, ballsy to say, but it's possible, I mean, we're not, like, inferior, but, or supremacy. We have the ability. Diversity brings strength. Since when? When does diversity bring strength? Very short-lived. Alright, it's like a little, I call it a national pandemic. Or a national high. Just like that little, just that little blood for a couple hours, then it goes back to normal, and you gotta keep going. And after a while, it just doesn't work anymore, and you need more and more and more. Well, diversity's like that. It goes good, it's that high. It goes really good for a while, or that buzz, alright? It goes really good for a while, and then you just can't get it back. You can't get it back. That's an addiction, right? You're trying to get back to that first time that you had it, right? We also have that for, like, serial killers. That first one, they want to get that, I gotta get another bit. It's not like the first time. A lot of books, read them, that's pretty much the psychology of a lot of murderers and serial killers and things like that. Okay? And it goes for a lot for human nature. Alright? So, even for me, I can even analyze myself and be like, the first time I took a cigarette, I could never get that high again. I couldn't get that sensation ever again, no matter how many times I have a smoke. But I know I'm chasing that dragon, right? But I can admit that to myself. I like to see these libtards admit anything to themselves. Alright. They won't. Now, what is the purpose, right? Now, if you're going to come to another country, and you're going to say there's better things in the country that you came from, okay? And you want to diverse them into this country, and they would benefit everybody, then sure. That's when diversity has a little bit of integrity. But when you say diversity brings strength, but after a while it doesn't. Diversity in this country is not everywhere. It's concentrated. You know, you go to Richmond, BC, it's like, what? Huh. You got all these Koreatown, Chinatown, Russian town. Yeah, diversity should be spread and mingled. I expect in the community, when you go into a suburb, oh, there's Filipinos, there's a family of Irishmen, there's a family of Germans, there's a family of, we'll say Somalians, the good ones, if there is any. Alright? That's diversity. Not that whole community and that whole household, that whole suburb right there is all Filipinos. That whole suburb over there is majority black people. I don't see any diversity there. Oh, wait, that whole suburb over there, the gated community is white. I don't see any diversity that way. What are you talking about? Very concentrated. Like city-states in the ancient world. Or in ancient Greece. But anyway, that's my rant and rave. There's a lot going on right now. I like to get more into it, but it pisses me off. I'm telling you, these protesters are pissing me off because it's like, should be supporting, right? Especially the women. Watch the ones on women on CNN. I believe it was CNN or ABC. I forget what I was seeing it, but they interviewed these women. Against war, possible war with Iran. What's the women doing in Iran? They're fighting to get their equality. They're coming back. Like I said, back to the 1970s. Before the Ayatollah decided to take it over. But hey, and they say, well, that's just propaganda. Problem is with AI, my little speak of AI is going to be the death of us. I remember I read an article that AI just canceled tens of thousands of jobs at Amazon. Oh yeah, that's creating a lot of work. I don't know where the world thinks they're going to get, I don't know where people's mindset is. Is it so big of a number that they just can't comprehend it? But how many fucking times? Like, my God almighty. Fucking pisses me off. Okay, if you got 1,000 jobs, but you got 100,000 people, basic math, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? So what are those other 99,000 people gonna do? Oh, wait. There's no job creation. Tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands of jobs worldwide have been eliminated because of AI. But we keep sponsoring it, we keep loving it, besides the fact that it's going to dumb our intelligence even lower as a human species. Cats are going to rule the world next. Hey, bud. So, we're on a world of self-destruction, but as a Christian, I know that this is the way it goes, because we came out of the Garden of Eden and just went downhill after that. We don't have a choice in the matter. And I'm not saying rebel against God or anything like that, because none of it's God's fault. Don't ever blame God for anything. Period. Now, people like to. It's funny. I have to laugh at it. They'll blame it something they don't even believe in. It sounds libtardism, right off the get-go there, boys. I don't even believe in it, but I'm going to blame it. Yeah, makes sense. That makes sense to you. I got rope for you. Better yet, I'll choke you out. So, yeah. I only believe in it when it applies. I need something to blame, so I'm going to believe in it for now. Like, it's not something you just take off a shelf. But anyway. Oh, that's my rant and rave. But I have another... Ooh. That's why I love nationalism. That's why I'm hoping you watch the series. And please comment if you do watch it or listen or whatever. Pretty soon I'm going to have live once a week during a certain time. You missed it, too effing bad. I'm going to put it like that. People just don't help each other anymore. So I noticed that too in the last 20 years in this country. People just don't help each other. Well, I could drive you, but I want money for it. Yeah. Money. Yeah. Last time I checked what it said in the Bible. Anyways, Deuteronomy's got a few good verses. Look after the poor of your nation. I believe that's in Deuteronomy. And it's just like, really? Well, they seem like they're not doing that really well. So, anyway. Enough of that. Enough rant and rave. Johnny the professor here. The historian. That's another rant and rave. So, there's so much to talk about. So much to rant about. And here's another thing. What's the difference between bitching? Well, if those protesters are out there bitching, they're technically the classification. They're not complaining. Protesters complain and bitch. But when I do it, oh God, it's bitching. People got to smarten up and actually take responsibility and actually some refuge on this stuff. When someone's bitching about something, the chances are they're trying to say something that's wrong. And when they're trying to say something that's wrong, most people are like, that means I gotta use this to come up with a solution? I'm that lazy that I can't even think anymore. Maybe, here's a fucking thought, come up with a solution. If someone's complaining about something, it's not complaining or bitching. It means it's a fucking problem, ladies and gentlemen. Fix it. The only reason why you say, well, stop your complaining and your bitching and complaining, is because you don't want to take the responsibility to think and to help that person to come up with a solution. Mark my words. Well, it's dry out. How's that bitching? It is dry. It's a drought. Oh, right. Well, that also implies reality. People just don't want to comprehend reality. Is that it? Too much of a woohoo. Anywho. Lots to complain about. But those protesters, go out there and really, literally smack. No. Just the punch to the back of the head. Give them the old donkey. Alright? On those libtards. And those woke morons, well, just go pile drive them somewhere. It ain't gonna hurt what's up here anyway if you pile drive them. There's nothing there to hurt. The only thing you're gonna get hurt? Nothing. You'll get some satisfaction from it. And, better yet, you'll do society a favor. So, on another note, until next time in the next weekly rant and rave, or whenever I get a chance to do it, we'll come back on this. I got a lot more anger on this stuff. But we're going to see what unfolds this week. Until next time, smack a libtard and punch donkey a woke moron.